Hello, Ebon Pinion back with another knife fight for you. And this is going to be an Ozark Trail folding knife versus the Coast LX236 model. Both pretty nice little inexpensive folding knives. Which one would I go with? It's pretty tough to say, but I'd probably, since you can get the Ozark Trail for about $4 or under, I would go with this one, because overall I think it is a much better knife. Much more sturdier, well-made knife. As far as centering on mine, it's way off on the Ozark Trail, but again, the blade is not rubbing, so that's a good thing. And on the Coast, it's centered perfectly. So it's it really depends, because my girlfriend Holly has this same knife, and on hers, her blade centers perfectly, but she has the LX239, which is exactly the same knife as this one, but has a black blade and black pocket clip. It's only blackened, but it's the same knife. Hers is off with centering, so it really depends. You might be able to get one centered, one not centered, or one centered, one not centered, or maybe both centered, or both not centered. So, but as it is for build and the value, I would go with the Ozark Trail. So handles. On the Coast, you have glass reinforced nylon handles and a single inset liner for the liner lock. And on the Ozark Trail, you have full stainless frame. And as far as this overlay, it's either some, sturdy plastic or maybe aluminum. I'm not sure. But it has sort of a rubbery feel to it, slight rubbery overmold. They both have tip down right hand only pocket clips. This one obviously doesn't have one on it, but it comes with one. Deployment. You can get a pretty good quick deployment out of the Coast. The Ozark Trail on mine, not good at all as far as quick deployment. The Coast uses a thumb hole, Ozark Trail uses a thumb disc. The blades are both drop point designs. They're both hollow ground. And the blade steel, well, the Ozark Trail doesn't say what the blade steel is, but on the Coast it's 3 CR13. So, very inexpensive blade steel, so who knows, that's probably the same steel used on this Ozark Trail knife, for all I know. But as far as corrosion resistance, well, I think the Ozark Trail has it because of this coating. I think this is titanium nitride coating, I'm not sure. But the coating will help with corrosion, whereas the Coast is bead blasted, and that's not very good for corrosion resistance. They're both partially serrated, have some good serrations on them. As far as tip strength, I would give it to the Ozark. The Ozark has a slightly thicker tip to it. The Coast tapers to a more thin tip. Comfortability in hand. They're actually both fairly comfortable. I may give a slight advantage over to the Ozark Trail. To the Coast, because of the finger grooves, and it's just, I think, more ergonomic. And this texturing on the handle is quite grippy, actually. And has some cosmetic jimping up here, but it has a thumb ramp. Ozark Trail has some jimping to it, but it's not useful. So, like, if I was going to stab with this knife, my hand has the possibility of slipping up on that blade, whereas this one it's less likely to do so. So I think I'd give a advantage to the Coast on that. The Coast has a lanyard hole. Ozark Trail one does not. Lockup. I think I trust the Ozark Trail a little bit better on lockup. It has a nice sturdy frame lock to it. And the Coast, unless you're like really flicking this knife out, the liner lock won't engage fully. So now that it's engaged fully, it gives a pretty good strong lock, but I prefer this frame lock. I think this one will be much more effective. So yeah, they're both pretty good EDC knives, I will say. You get an advantage of a little bit better deployment on this. On my version, it's a little bit better deployment. More ergonomic handle. And having a higher hollow grind, it's probably going to slice a lot better than the Ozark Trail. The Ozark Trail probably has better piercing capability. It has a much more acute tip, yet still maintaining good thickness. Better with corrosion resistance on both the handle and the blade with that coating. Better lock. And much better price. So it really depends what you want. So anyway, that's my knife fight for you. Thanks for watching and God bless.